So Cassie said that the reason that she couldn't leave Diddy is because he had complete control of her life. And a lot of people are confused because they're like, well, what do you mean? He wasn't shackling you down. You could leave at any time you want. And as a person whose mother lost her life because she couldn't leave due to financial dependence, I'm going to tell you how this stuff happens. I'm trying not to get emotional here, but every time I talk about this, obviously this is going to hurt. But I want to do it because I think it's so important for women to understand the importance of financial independence. And honestly, this is why I wrote my book, Never Date a Broke Dude, the Financial Freedom Playbook. I mean, it's not just about dating broke dudes. It is about women being financially independent so they don't end up like my mom. So here is what my mother went through, and this is exactly what Cassie's going through. My mother, when we lived in Iran, she was financially independent. She had an amazing job. In fact, she made more money than my dad. And when we moved to the United States, because of the language barrier, she couldn't get a job in her respective field. She was a head nurse, actually, of the King's Hospital in Iran, but she couldn't pass the nursing exams here, so she couldn't work. And back then, it wasn't like today where you could do something online or there were so many side hustles that you could have. There was nothing available to her. And because of that, she became financially dependent on my father, and he controlled all of the finances. And anytime she wanted to spend any money or whatnot, she had to go through him. And that caused a lot of arguments. And every time they would fight, my mother would take me into a room and she would look me in the eye and she would say, it doesn't matter how much money your husband makes, you make and control your own money, because whoever controls your money controls you. And that sat with me, and this is why today I'm financially independent. But in her case, she felt like she had no other options. My father was unfaithful to her, not once, not twice, was so disrespectful toward her. And she couldn't leave because she's like, where am I gonna go? Unless she was gonna go live on the street, she had nowhere to go. And Cassie was feeling the same exact way. And what people don't understand is that when someone controls your money, they have control over your entire life, because we need money in order to survive. And do you know that in 99.9% of domestic violence cases, financial abuse is part of it? And the number one thing people use to control other people is money. And all of Cassie's money was being controlled by him. Her career, everything was being controlled by him. So she's like, if I leave here, I have absolutely nothing. And that's exactly the way my mother felt. She had to put up with so much abuse, so much disrespect, so much bullshit, only because she didn't have the financial means to leave. And it cost her everything, including her life. And I talk about the details more about the book. I don't want to talk about it here because, again, I may get banned on TikTok. But it's so important for women to see people like Cassie, to see people like my mom, and understand that these stories are not aberrations, but these are stories of thousands and thousands of women who are not financially independent, who rely on their husbands for their finances, and end up in a very dangerous situation. And it can literally cost them their lives. So if you're one of these women that is not financially independent, it's time to start being financially independent today. You need to find a way to make some money and put it into an account that only you control in case something happens. And in that account, you need enough money to live on for 3 months, to pay rent, to buy food, to take care of your kids, to pay for your car, to pay for your phone, all of that. That account is your you money. And unless you have that, your life will always be in somebody else's hands, and you're vulnerable to being controlled. If you haven't learned from Cassie, learn from my mother's situation and understand that it could cost you your life.